The right is calling you a DEI hire.
Oh, my God.
What is your response to that?
The fact that they focus on me so much, it probably should put it as a badge of honor. But look, right now, DEI is being used as a catch-all phrase for people, for things that they don't like. And we got to be really clear here, too. DEI did not cause that tragic plane accident in Washington, D.C. DEI is not causing the increase of prices, right? Although they'll blame it on us.
Yeah.
And I do believe that diversity is our strength. It is the strength of our nation. Inclusion is important. And it makes us a better country. And when we do things like that, when the other side does things like that and scapegoat people, it actually puts vulnerable communities in danger.
Yep.
Immigrant, gay, woman. That's EI right there.
Yeah, I mean, we see
What the hell are we talking about?
So many problems happen in our country, like this past year, off DEI situations.
I mean, she checks every box of DEI. Benefits women more. Bang. Immigrant. Bang. Gay. Bang.
DEI almost got Trump killed.
Hey, bro, it's a whole, but I didn't even think about that. As she was talking, I was naming the New Orleans tragedy, the California tragedy.
No water.
I was thinking about so many tragedies, the helicopter tragedy. But we can go on and on and on.
Yeah, they was saying we don't need men. And
I mean, it's so many situations.
you get stuck in a fire, why you got there in the first place? A lady said that.
We had
what? A lady said that. She said, if you get stuck in the fire and we can't lift you, why was you there in the first place?
LGBTQ generals. I mean, it's been on and going on problems. Is this a wig she got on?
That's a real hair.
Hey, that's a real hair.
Wow.
You can tell.
I don't know, man.
She had been had that hair.
Man, y'all playing.
Bro, she had that hair every
She been
day.
having this hair.
What is she, though?
I'm just saying.
She's from like Port d'Ivoire.
We wrong.
Y'all tweaking, man. I swear y'all tweaking. I see y'all don't see black people with good hair.
I'm just saying.
She's from Fort-de-France, Martinique.
Oh, maybe.
She from France?
Fort-de-France, Martinique.
Yeah, maybe then.
Yeah,
People this year and the past year have been throwing the word DEI a lot, though. Even with the Baltimore mayor when that situation happened, they were throwing it out a lot on situations they didn't like.
That's because, see, if it wasn't a thing, people couldn't throw it out there and use it as an insult.
Well, they was pushing that, so they was saying they said that they needed it, and then when people call you it's an insult. So
it shouldn't be a thing at all.
That's
because it sparks division in multiple ways. Y'all don't like when we call y'all it, well, we don't like it in general. So let's just do away with it completely.
But y'all want it. So is that delusion?
No,
it is
just a different point of view.
I just don't like when
I think it is delusion,
It might
bro.
be delusion.
she talking about this is the strength of our
Because
nation.
you say you need it. If you need it, why you don't want to be called it?
How is that offensive if you
They
need
know
it?
how you using it, you know?
If you need it, why wouldn't you want to be called it?
No, but you understand, though, like, because they don't want to be blamed for, you know.
Yeah, but if you need it, you also calling yourself it, though. If
You
it
are.
happens.
No, I understand. I understand. I'm just saying, you know.
I guess. Yeah, they know. We're playing a little stupid. Yeah, we obviously know that you're calling someone dumb if, not dumb,
Yeah,
but
you
you
know,
didn't earn the position.
It's condescending.
But you're also saying you didn't earn the position if you want it.
Yes,
So,
you are saying that.
Is that delusional?
How are you also saying that about yourself? This is how I know God is real. Because I was literally about to go to a sleep doctor because I really struggled to sleep.
He was.
And then we actually just happened to,
Ran across Beam.
find out about Beam. And so I was okay, I'll try this first. And it has literally solved my problem. Like, I think the biggest keys here are what are the ingredients? We got the melatonin, the magnesium, and the theanine. All of those like combined, because I've heard of all these things separately, but when you combine them all, it's like you get in the bed and you feel like something's weighing you down. Like that's how you don't feel like moving. And then you wake up and
I remember you said that I felt like I sunk in the bed.
That's how I felt. Yeah, and it helps me relax my mind before I get to bed. So you can turn on some Cartier Family, lay down, hit the Beam, go to sleep. All right, guys. So what you want to do is go to beam.com and put in the discount code Cartier, and that's gonna get you 35% off. That's not no little discount. That is a big discount, y'all. Beam is really blessing. It's a company that has value similar to ours, and they really just want to help. So 35% off with the code Cartier.
Groceries, egg prices haven't gone down since Trump took office.
Give him a little bit of time. Will you come back in a year or 2 years? Let's look at the halfway point because we all know everything takes time.
Well, he promised it on the first day.
He promises to
and
take
anybody
steps.
that believed that's crazy.
He also said that it would probably be a little more painful to start with, but it would get better. We got to get
Everybody's
him.
waiting on that.
Well,
You talking about contractors? Elon's a contractor too. Who looks into him?
there needs to be somebody.
Nobody questions his bills.
Do you trust Elon Musk? He's
Absolutely.
a government contractor. He's got business interests,
Y'all remember
whether
her?
in defense, internet, that kind of thing. He's also admitted to drug use. He smoked pot on Joe Rogan's show. Do you trust him as like a stable, rational,
smoked
and
pot.
reasonable person
Who
to
says
be
that?
doing this job?
Yes.
Hey, he's a Republican. You ain't gonna talk him out of that.
There's
No, and
potheads
these
all
like-
over this country. Y'all sitting here trying to bash
I
one
ain't
man for what,
bashing none of 'em.
99% of this country, Republican or Democrat. Corbett, this whole dadgum town smokes pot. You're part of the Democrat Party in
I'm
my
not.
book.
The conversation devolved quickly. We had not anticipated the
said,
emotional
"No, I'm not."
connection we already felt with Musk.
Pot smoking. This is
did it
over
on
with.
TV.
That
He
pissed
said
him
on
off.
TV and smoke pot.
Yes, do you
Well,
want
I
me to
haven't. I
pull up
don't
the
care.
video?
I'm saying it don't matter.
Let me pull up the
But that
video
makes him
for you.
unqualified to do a
Well,
job.
I'm just saying, does it,
Yeah, I mean,
Does the
she's
question
coming in
is-
here with ignorant arguments. She
does
ain't
it,
talking
does
facts.
it raise any questions about
I
his
can prove
judgment?
you a Democrat by the level of ignorance that you portray.
Let's just show it.
Donald Trump, Elon Musk, please drain the swamp. While you there, get the job done. Please.
I like him
They'll
a lot.
probably go down the drain with it.
Hey, that was hilarious.
He said,
bro.
"You wanted the Democrat Party." She said, "No, I'm not." He said, "I could tell you're a liberal by these ignorant arguments you're making."
And she talking about drugs.
She talking about- you
there was
talking about-
cocaine or crack found in the White House.
She said,
Why
"You
can't
think he's
they-
unqualified to do a job because he smoked pot? Half of this town's a pothead. There's potheads all over this country." See, he was making logical arguments. And she over here, well, he smoked weed one time.
That's a bad
And
argument.
he knew
Shut
he was.
the front door,
He
girl.
knew he was on CNN.
But
he
think
had to
about
grill
it.
her ass.
That-
He said, "This
pothead-
argument's done. I'm not finna sit here and listen to this. It's done."
Now, in the polls, you're nearly tied with Pete Buttigieg, AOC, Governor Gretchen Whitmer. You have a higher favorability than John Fetterman and Vice President Harris. What do you make of this?
That's
Smile.
crazy.
I make of it that citizens, particularly on the left, are desperate. And I mean it when I say it. I think I can beat them all. And I have no desire whatsoever to run for office. I am not a politician. I am not qualified. But I know this much. When you consider who's on the other side and how he's gotten away with saying very little in terms of being coherent and articulating his thoughts clearly and concisely and what have you. This is not something that he's known to do. Yet and still, he has owned the Republican Party since 2015. Not only has he won, the Republican constituency has said, we don't want anybody else but him. We didn't want DeSantis. We didn't want Haley. We didn't want Christie. We didn't want Ramaswamy. We didn't want DeSantis. We didn't want anybody. We want him.
What does that
Who
say
is
about
that
the
person?
Republican Party?
It's not about what it says about the Republican Party. It's about what it says about the Democratic Party. Because in the end, if you think about him being impeached twice, 34 felony counts or 34 felony convictions, and they still elected him president, it's not about him winning. It was an indictment against the Democratic Party and what the Democratic Party was offering to American citizens. We might sit up there and talk about, hey, you should be a party for the working class, which the Democratic Party was once known for. They're not known for that right now. Why? Because their message was catering towards others and towards other issues, and they forgot about the people that brought them there, that elevated the Democratic Party to what it was over these last few decades.
Facts.
That's why they lost. He didn't win.
Well,
The
let's
Democrats
remind
lost.
people.
I ain't gonna lie, Stephen A, you know, when he articulates his thoughts and like his points to where he comes to his conclusions, he be cooking now.
Hey man, put Stephen A up there then.
Nah,
I
I
want
want
to
to
see
mad
it.
if he ran for them.
I wouldn't be mad.
You know, they got somebody who
Hell yeah, I'm gonna hear you out.
is competent.
I'm gonna hear your ass out.
Hey, to
I'm
be
not
honest
gonna
with you, he should do it as a joke. And if he keep going up and up,
Oh,
he's gonna win
he's
the
gonna do
primary.
pretty good.
He said, I think I could beat them all.
I think
Unless-
you could too.
They said they got him more favorable than Kamala Harris.
I only think that 10% of the Democrats are just super woke. So I think 90% of the people will
Right.
I saw where
side with
Exactly.
I saw where he tweeted it, and Roland Martin was like, "No, you're not gonna win. That's a joke." I bet
Yes,
if they,
the
I bet
big
if
one.
they,
Beat your
I bet
ass.
if, I bet if they ran off right now, Stephen A would bury his little.
To
fat
be honest
ass.
with
Listen,
you,
you're fat. We don't want a fat president. Sorry.
to be honest with you, you can't say who's gonna win and who's not gonna win because Trump proved that shit already.
Yeah, I'm not down nobody. That's why I was like, go ahead, brother.
No,
You
he
sound
ain't
pretty
better.
good right now. You better than Hakeem Jeffrey. So, hey, cool.
After we seen everybody lying at the line.
got
Everybody
charisma.
dissing
You
Trump.
know,
and
charisma
Doug.
can take you a long way.
And you guys want to know something? You guys want to know something? Despite the fact that he's not a politician and he's not a political guy, I think that if he ran right now, his policies would be better than anybody on the Democrat Party right now.
They would, because he's not so radical.
All
like
he has
them.
to say is
He's just very logical. Like,
I'm sorry. We don't want men in women's sports, and people start hitting you out right there. Oh, he cooking. It's a shame that that's cooking in today's
I don't
time.
think he's condemned that though.
I don't know, but
You
I know
he's
he
gonna
will.
condemn that,
I
bro.
know he
I don't
hasn't,
think
bro.
he
He
has.
has
hasn't,
not.
I
but-
said, but you know he's going to condemn
ESPN
that.
We don't
won't allow
know.
that.
We don't know.
Y'all think
We don't
bro.
know.
I'm just talking about. I'm just talking about as of right
Y'all
now.
think
As of
Stephen A.
March
Smith, he
3rd,
hasn't said it.
2025, he has not condemned
We can't say
ESPN
what we don't know.
will not allow
Okay,
that.
but listen, let's be logical, y'all.
Let's be logical. He hasn't done it yet.
Him going over stats and statistics all day.
No,
about
he knows
sports.
the truth, but he can't say it. Why can't he say it?
But if he ran for president, do you think
Then
he would change
I
his
don't
position?
know. That's what I'm
Maybe
saying. We
he
don't
wouldn't be
know.
working for ESPN.
We don't know, so we can't say what we don't
But
know. So
ESPN
we'll
will
just
not
see.
allow that.
But he
I
seems pretty
It's a
fair.
Disney company.
He's
Yeah,
the
bro.
most base Democrat it is right now. If he gonna run,
Yeah, he's the
Y'all
best.
know
No,
all
he's
the
definitely
Democrats-
like as far as Democrat media goes, or someone who's a non-Republican in media, he's probably one of the most base voices for sure.
Y'all know all the Democrats just voted for it to have men in women's sports.
why are they still doing that? I thought that was over. I thought
Yeah,
Trump
they-
signed the
they-
executive
they-
orders.
and
they
the
reversed
senators,
it, yeah.
yeah.
They
The
reversed
senator,
it.
the Senate.
See, yeah, you got. Hey, all you gotta do is Stephen A. and say, "AOC, Jasmine, you gone," and I'm gonna hear y'all right there.
And they
brother.
voted for
I'm gonna
it.
hear y'all from right then and now.
We've been in office for 6 weeks. Seems like 6 years, doesn't it? And he's been going around with his cronies touting his so-called landslide and blowout win. But he won the popular vote by 1.5%, one of the smallest ever, and he won the general election by less than 50%. So what kind of mandate is this really?
Well, it is a mandate, and I'm going to explain why. And I don't mind the question, but let me be very clear. I'm no supporter of Trump. I'm a supporter of truth and the facts. And here's the facts. The man won every swing state. He increased in terms of his voter turnout in his favor from the standpoint of blacks, Latinos, and young voters. He increased his numbers in that regard from 2020. 89% of the counties shifted to the right. That's a mandate. We can sit up there and play around all we want to. In 2020, Trump didn't win the popular vote. He didn't win the electoral college vote. A matter of fact, the Republicans hadn't won the popular vote, if I remember correctly, since 2004. But they did this year. So 20 years after they last won the popular vote, they won the popular vote. They won the electoral college vote. The man won every swing state. And on top of it all, 89% of the counties shifted against. I don't understand how people can look at that and say, there's no mandate. There's a mandate.
Well, it's a different definition of a mandate, I guess.
But the problem is that if you're the Democratic Party and you lost 49.8% to 48.3%, and you're looking at that 1.5% dip, that's an excuse for you to say, what we did really wasn't that bad.
some people didn't
We
show
should
up.
continue to do that.
Do you think
No,
that those-
don't continue to do it.
you
Find a
think
new
that-
strategy.
But do you think those groups, the black voters, the Latino voters, and the others that you mentioned, are they going to regret it soon?
No.
Possibly. I think so. I don't like what I'm seeing from Trump. I didn't like what I saw with Zelensky. I didn't like what I saw with a few things. But in the end,
Zelensky?
the point, I didn't like it. But
In the Oval Office.
But in the end, what it comes down to is this. The American people, in their eyes, it wasn't about him. They were voting against what the Democrats were throwing in their direction. I don't only talk to Cuomo. I did interview Eric Adams. I did interview Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries. I interviewed these people. I've talked to them. And I'm going to talk to some more of them, too. And I'm going to say the same message. What are you doing to win? I love Wes Moore, the governor of Maryland. I
do
love
too.
Jean-Pierre
I
of
love
Pennsylvania, okay? I just interviewed Cuomo. I like him a lot. I want somebody to step up and recognize that man in the Oval Office, whether you like it or not, is potent. He's coming and he wins. You got to find a way to beat him. This way is not the way that the Democrats are doing it.
Let's talk about how people are feeling about his performance, because a CNN poll this week found that 52% of people disapprove of Trump's performance in office so far. So even though he may have won the general election by less than 50%, 52% disapprove of what he's doing. We're also seeing Republican voters at town halls opposing his executive overreach, giving Elon Musk the shadow presidency. Yet you said, quote, Trump is closer to normal normal than what we're seeing on the left.
Yeah, I was talking about why he
How
won the election.
so?
When I made that statement, I was talking about that was before the election.
I see.
Right.
Okay.
So when during the election, I said in the immediate aftermath of the election, I pointed out he was voted for because they considered him closer to normal than what the Democrats were spewing. That was what I said at that particular moment in time. Now, obviously, Elon Musk is an entirely different matter altogether.
Right.
This man is not an elected official. He hasn't been confirmed by the Senate or anything, but he's got an inordinate amount of power.
Given to him by Trump.
I can understand how that could scare the living daylights out of folks and the approval ratings. Obviously, we pay attention to that. But here's the bigger question. Who on the Democratic side are the American people pointing to and saying that's the person?
Well,
they don't have anybody yet.
Well, we're
plenty.
6 weeks in with you know who.
National Voice.
Right, we're
like a
6
chicken.
weeks in with you know who.
Jeffries.
Everybody said let him do what he's doing so we can see what's going on. So, and now people are saying, well, what are you going to do as a Democrat? Well, wait a minute now. Y'all didn't want to hear what we had to say as Democrats because that wasn't what people voted for.
true.
So now we have a clear definition, and the American people will decide how they like what he's doing because now it's affecting in a way that people were not anticipating. People who didn't think they would be affected, like the folks who work in the federal government, they never saw this coming.
And
They
people can't
never
make
saw this
omelets
coming. Sorry
anymore.
about
That's
it.
okay.
People can make omelets. Everybody doesn't need eggs.
Y'all see Alyssa and the other girl ain't even say nothing, bro.
They're happy people lost
I
their jobs.
gotta keep it 100. I like that Stephen A. came and cooked the way he did. He had a lot of facts to say. I think I'm not gonna lie. A lot of the criticism from Trump is not stemming from his performance. It's mostly stemming from the skepticism around Elon Musk. And obviously, I do think like it is rightfully to be skeptical of it because obviously, like he's a super rich guy, like the richest man in the world with a lot of power in our government, a lot of say so with what's going on. But I mean,
He just overseeing.
I don't know,
the budget.
I mean,
Hold
but
on.
like the criticism, the skepticism is rightfully like placed. Like
For sure.
we don't know like what the outcome of all this is gonna be. Like so for them to be as skeptical as they are,
I mean,
because like
you can
people
be
voted
skeptical.
for Donald Trump, they didn't vote for Elon Musk. You know what I'm
No, I
saying?
get
But
that. Hold
right
on.
now, the whole news, everything we see in the news is Elon. And I mean, we sit here and agree. Like I do agree with the overhauling of the government spending and everything like that. But like I still have the questions of where's that money gonna go and how's that gonna benefit us as American citizens? Because they like when people point out the fact that he works for the government and now he's controlling all the government money because he's a government contractor. And he makes money from the government with government contracts and now he's controlling all this money from the government. That's a rightful criticism, in my opinion.
See, but the thing is, though, Joe Biden had access to this. He gave, I think it was like college students who were interns, that same access to the information that Doge has right now.
No, right,
They just
right.
did nothing with it.
No,
so
right.
If the last administration had that same, information and they just chose not to capitalize on it, I don't see why it's an issue. If this information has been available, it's not like Trump allowed information that wasn't.
Well, based on the polling, we know that like most Americans do agree with the overhauling of the government spending. Like we even seen that on CNN polling, we saw it on Fox, we've seen the polling. Like most Americans agree with that. I just think they're very skeptical of the power that's being given to this billionaire when history has shown billionaires aren't always like on the side of regular people.
But
the skepticism to me, I'm like, okay, I understand the skepticism, but to me, I think I like what's going
It's a
on.
bit
I like
stupid,
the Doge.
Yeah, it's
I
a
like
bit
what's
stupid,
going on
though.
with Doge.
Because all the
But-
billionaires that has been involved in situations or their politics like this, they have not been this transparent and showed stuff that we have never seen before.
Right. I mean,
And it can't be worse.
I agree,
Like,
but
$3
I
trillion
know-
was gone. I don't see.
So
4
you're
trillion,
to me, you're actual idiot if you have any
Nah, I would
criticism.
say
of
you're
it.
an idiot.
Nah,
you
you're an
can't
idiot
you
to
can't
me.
blindly just be
Nah,
all
you're
in
an
favor of
idiot.
something. Like it's definitely the reason people are skeptical is because this is something we've never seen before by a non-government official. But that we know the government's corrupt, so I do trust him in the fact that he's an outsider, but I do understand the skepticism of the richest man in the world having this much power in our country.
If you don't know what he's
I completely
doing.
understand that.
If you don't know what he's doing.
I see the point.
If you don't know
I
what he's
understand
doing.
the skepticism.
But he has exposed over 100, probably I'm gonna say billion,
And
maybe
we agree
$1
with
million
that. We agree with those.
that
though.
has been sent to other countries for LGBTQ activities.
But again, like we said,
if you're against that shit.
we agree with Doge. It's just the fact that he just has so much power and say so. Then people are like, oh my gosh, whoa. I didn't vote for that. I
That's
voted
gonna
for
happen.
Trump. You know what I'm
That's gonna
saying?
happen. That's gonna happen.
I understand the skepticism. I understand
So
that.
if it wasn't Elon, you think they would have still had a problem?
They'd have
So
found
that's
a
the thing, though.
scapegoat.
They had a problem with Pam.
I
They
say
had
if
a
they
problem
didn't
with
have
Cash.
Elon, if Elon was not there, they would have still
Everyone
had
that
a
was
problem.
appointed,
yeah, it's
they
Trump.
had a problem with.
We know
it.
that it's Trump.
So if they would have still had
They're-
Elon
anybody,
not as
bro.
the face and still would have went through and found all this stuff, they would have still had.
I mean, but like we said though, we agree
So-
with Doge, do we not?
Yes.
All right, though.
I can see why people say, having a billionaire in there because he could probably look like it looks bad.
No, exactly.
If he wasn't being so,
I don't think it does.
It does.
Yeah,
but we gotta realize something. We gotta realize something.
That's
though.
why people saying that's the problem.
We gotta realize something though. Health skepticism is rightfully like we don't know what's gonna be the outcome of this. We don't know. Like obviously, Elon says out his mouth, "My goal is to make our country more efficient, to protect our government, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera." But this is just unprecedented times, and we've never seen anything like this. So the fact that people are skeptical, I think that's rightfully so. But I personally, I think what has happened has been a net positive.
At the end of the day, is anybody going back to slavery? Is the soldiers gonna walk in your house and take all your stuff and say nigga get out and all that's gonna happen? So all the scary shit is uncalled for me personally. Unless if you think the American dollar just gonna just freeze up and it's not gonna be what you think is gonna happen?
I mean at this current
what could happen?
At this current but I mean like at this current point in time, what is going on in our government spending is actually giving more power to our people. It's giving more power to our tax dollars.
I'm trying to see, like, I see what you're saying. If you put yourself in other people's shoes, like, imagine if Joe Biden was up there and Elon Musk was on the left and he was pulling out the strings and making a lot happen. We would be like, that mother, you know.
No, facts.
So I do see that point.
But even
I
still,
believe he's doing the right thing.
I personally think so far what we've seen from Elon is a good thing, but I think the skepticism of it is a healthy amount of skepticism.
Because if Soros was up there,
exactly.
But at the same time, if Soros said they spent $200 million on LGBT, I'm saying, whoa, hold on now, nigga.
But based on,
I like that he exposing that. So if you're exposing great things, I can't be mad at that. How can you be mad at something that is great?
Yeah.
I can't. That's why I'm.
I just think, like, you know, and then something we also saw is like we saw in another video that we did. The media playbook has changed. Like we understand that all the attacks on Trump have failed and they don't work. They fall flat now. So now we have another figure who has an immense amount of power, who's pulling our nation into uncharted territory. Like Brock said, they need a new scapegoat. That's where Elon Musk comes in. So not only is there a skepticism there, the media is fanning the flames of that skepticism. They're pouring gasoline on a fire and trying to ignite it.
They did it to everybody though. They did it to everybody here pointing in. They did it to JD. So
I mean, they do it to everybody, but to the extent they do it to Elon is a little more than them.
Yeah, but we Russian spies, so we're out of here.